What is up, everybody? It is Wreaker, and welcome back to Slide 2 Band of Thieves. And we are on the second to last episode of the series. We are doing the next to last mission and the boss, final boss in this episode. What you just saw there, I was showing off the shadow power gadget that we got at the very end of the last episode, and just showing what all happened. And fun fact, when you have the Mega Jump Backpack, which is a gadget that we have for this mission, it doesn't turn invisible because developers didn't think about that. I don't know why.
Alright, sounds like fun.
Yeah, Mega Jump is one of my favorite gadgets. Luckily, they do add it, once you 100% the game, they add it to where you can re-add it with the cheat code. But yeah, all it does is just rocket slide way up into the air, and it helps you with paraglider. You can just jump clear over guards, and they have no idea that you're there. It's all good fun. But the premise of this mission is that Carmelita is coming to help us take down Klokla with an attack helicopter, but she can't find where the blimp actually is because plot hole. You would think she would have radar. But yeah, so we've got to turn on 4 radio towers or something along those lines. I forget what they're antennas of some sort. I forget if they're radio or GPS or yeah. The hard part about this mission is there's holes right above you that you can't see. I guess I didn't think about it. You could probably manipulate the camera to help you see better, but I like the smack slice head against the roof of the platform method better. But this mission does not take too long to do because it's fairly simple. The 4 towers are fairly close together. Like I said, the hardest part is playing ping pong with Slice Head there. And eventually you'll find the gap you're looking for. And we're 2 down out of 4. Oh yeah. And I had mentioned earlier that you can't get back over to the blimp that you did the recon mission on. And I was kind of pointing that out at this point in time in the stream. And I almost ran off. I decided to try to attempt it from the furthest point, and then I was like, it looked like the blimp went up. And there was no way I was actually getting over there. So again, I don't know why the developers kind of cordoned off that area. Well, now thinking about it now, there may be a reason. Because they would have had to have a essentially game state to where Arpeggio and Neela wouldn't be in there, and that would take up just unnecessary room on the game disc. So now, thinking about it a few days after I stream this, it does make sense now. But yeah, we've got... almost had the 4th one there, but for some reason Sly decided that was a better spire jump to land on. And then decided not to adhere to the laws of physics and cling onto a surface. The only bad thing about Mega Jump is that when you land and try to land on a rope or a spire or anything like that, it takes a while. It takes a while to land.
Now headed on an intercept course directly for us.
And yeah, our Mega Jump backpack just fizzled out, unfortunately. But we'll be playing around with it in the next episode. The next episode was kind of my cleanup episode. We're just focused on getting all the treasure and almost falling into a fan there. But it's where I focused on getting pretty much all the other stuff. Because yes, the treasure isn't counted in the 100%, but if you want to think of it like one of the Spyro games, it's kind of 120%. It just, the game won't actually show it.
Look, Sly, for once, let's cut the flirty chit-chat and get down to business. I need an experienced tail gunner. Jump in and grab the gun. We've got a bird to take down.
That's not flirty chit-chat?
My idea of flirting and Sly's idea of flirting are kind of different. And spoiler, I failed this first attempt, so I'm going to skip to the second attempt. But yeah, so this boss fight is very multi-stage. It's essentially one of the operations in and of itself. It's just all focused on a boss fight. So in the first part, we will actually, essentially, it's one of the turret missions that I always struggle to control, so I do apologize. But there's the basic yellow missiles that sometimes curve, sometimes go straight. Then you have the red projectiles, which go a little bit slower, but you gotta shoot them twice. Which, my aim is a little bit of a challenge. And then there's an attack with the pink eyes that if you let her charge that up too long, you get hit, and it takes a good-sized chunk out. And those rings, you have to shoot the outer part once to essentially switch polarity. Is the only explanation I have for it. Essentially, you switch the danger zone from the outside or inside to the outside. But if you shoot them again, so it's a little dangerous to try to shoot missiles or clockula in between everything. Yeah, because if you shoot it again, you will flip it back to the danger being on the inside, and you will take damage. Because most of the time you flip it right before it hits you, and you can't do anything about it. So when you get a lot of rings, sometimes you just have to slow down and focus on that. There's probably speedrun ways, or if you're good enough that you don't have to, but I think I've proven enough of my skill with how good my aim is on these turrets. But you only have to get the health bar down about 3/4 of the way.
Oh, yeah!
And when you do get the health down, you will switch to the next phase.
We're getting through!
Should be any time. I forget where exactly in this recording that switch phase. Oh, there it
You
is.
should have been a cop.
But now we
That
get
was
to
some
watch the
terrific
blimp
shooting.
catch fire, and
Sly, we've got a serious
for
problem here.
somehow
Luckily, looking mighty
just grabs the
upset,
battery
and I think she's going to take
clean
it out
off.
on us.
And we don't see it because that would have required too much animation. But yeah, the blimp blows up. And instead of chasing down the others in the helicopter, we have to run across
I'm
wreckage.
coming, guys.
It does not
Hold
make
on.
sense. Also, I failed a lot of parkour, so I'll skip to a good run. But yeah, so regardless of logic or whatever, it's fairly easy. Feral Pounce gives you a little bit of a leniency on your jumps. You can get a little bit extra distance on it. But you just go from platform to platform and hope you don't fall off. Because if you mess up some of these, there's no recovery.
I knew I'd go out this way, inside a battery.
But luckily there are some that you can hook on. I got distracted by what Bentley was saying. But there are some you can kind of hook on with your thief moves and whatnot.
Ouch! Ow!
But as long as you are good at your platforming, you should be able to do it pretty well. I was real tired when I did this last bit of the stream, and I was kind of rusty.
You might have a new body.
So I wasn't
wasn't
focusing on actually jumping correctly.
Again. This won't be any different.
Be brave while you can, Cooper. I might not have the immortality born of pure hate, but I feel some power growing within me.
And we don't get to see what that power is. And somehow I didn't get hit there, I don't know how. I did forget how to fight this, because you can't hit Klokla from any of the feather bone whatchamacallits. And you can't hit her from there. But you have to knock out both eyes. So be a little patient with the stupidity here. Luckily it does respawn you if you fall off. But again, patience with stupidity. It's been a couple years since I've done this. That was me figuring out, okay, yeah, I do need to hit the head. It takes me a minute to get up on, because you have to stand on the shoulder. I was thinking you had to stand, like, that's where I figured it out. I was thinking you had to stand on the feathers, but no, it's the actual shoulder. So, yeah, I kind of felt dumb when I remembered that. But, yeah. Knock the bird out of the sky. It crash lands in Paris. There's a bunch of wreckage. And somehow everyone's alright. Somehow that fan is still going.
We did it.
Multiple fans are still going in the background. Or I guess
It's an
propellers.
emotional moment.
Die, insects, die! My hate will smash you.
Watch out. That thing's
And
still
yeah,
kicking.
Klokla's still alive. And there's gonna be
Klokla mentioned
suddenly a few more
something about a
lasers.
heat chip. It sounded like the source of her power.
If we remove it, she might stop attacking.
Then let's do a little open head surgery. I'll pry open that beak so that Bentley can go to town with his bombs.
But yeah, amazingly the plan is concocted by Murray. And yeah, more lasers come by. This is the last time you have to lift things as Murray. But you pry open the jaw. It's one of the longest, like, mashing sequences, to be honest.
Gang. I will find you in your sleep and I will destroy you. You will never know a moment's peace for the rest of your short, miserable lives. The Klokla will know revenge. I am revenge. I am the Alpha and the Omega. Klokla!
And yeah, Bentley to save the day. And if you've seen any of the next two games of the series, you know what happens here.
I still have my hate chip. You will not defeat me, ever!
And there's the hate chip. You would think it would not be in the mouth where a lot of the weapons are, but you would think that, also gotta love the animation there, that glitched out. But you would think the hate chip would be like somewhere in the heart. Something like that. Either that or in the brain.
Ah, my glasses.
What? Bentley, I'll save you.
But yeah. The jaw shuts, and Bentley is paralyzed. No better way to say it.
Come
But
on, Sly, let's get out of here.
yeah. Also, I love how that explosion did nothing except light the bird on fire. Feels like that cutscene was supposed to end a little sooner.
And there we were, at the end of the road. The Claw Gang had been defeated, and the clockwork parts lay scattered around in heaps. Yet, despite the explosion, they remained pristine. It was as if nothing could ever hurt them. Carmelita cursed herself for showing up too late to get a few shots in on Clockla. So she took it out on what was close at hand, the hate chip. And just like that, it was over. Without that core piece, that essential center of clockwork, there was nothing left. The parts aged before our eyes as if time had finally caught up with the ancient bird. How ironic that Carmelita, a police officer, would be the one to lift the curse from the Cooper family. The menace of clockwork would never again rise to threaten me or my children. True to her nature, she informed us that we were all under arrest. But one look at my gang told me that we were in no shape for a fast getaway. So I offered to go peacefully in exchange for letting my friends walk. They'd taken some bruises through all of this, but I was surprised, shocked really, to see them leave their gear behind as they walked away. Their wounds were deeper than I'd imagined. Those guys were hurting. Carmelita's old police unit soon arrived. With me in custody, her name was cleared, and she even got a well-deserved promotion. It was the least I could do. The ride to HQ started with us sitting in silence, trying to read each other's thoughts. As the reality of my capture started to sink in, she began to relax, and we got to talking. We spoke freely about our previous adventures, comparing notes and even getting in a few laughs. Then we started talking about, well, everything. Books, music, art. It was like we were on a first date. She even showed me the bottle she'd been saving for the special occasion of my arrest. My heart sank when she realized that our short flight across town had already taken 2 hours, a fact I kinda clued into after seeing the Eiffel Tower float by 17 times. She went forward to ask the pilot what was up, and it looked like my pals had left me a little going-away present before taking off. Floating away on the night breeze, I could faintly make out Carmelita's voice.
I'll find you, Cooper! I'll be seeing you soon.
Oh, I think she likes him. Anyway, I wanted to keep somewhat quiet during the cutscene, not to ruin the moment or anything. But, yeah. I'm gonna let the credits roll through just because I think on games that are really good, I do like to let the credits roll through just to acknowledge the people that worked on it. I know that sounds bizarre, but hey, I'm a VTuber. You should be used to me being a little bizarre by now. Anyway. But one thing I was going to point out during the cutscene and then decided to kind of mute is the fact that Clockwork's parts didn't decay. It's like, yeah, old robot magic owl. Because if you think about it, he's from at least ancient Egypt. Because I think that was the... Unless you count Thieves in Time, which some people kind of try to forget about that game in some of the lore. But I think Slight and Common was the first ancestor that we really know that Clockwork was involved in. And yeah. You can definitely say he would probably been an owl with magic and knowledge and stuff that somehow kept himself alive for long enough to get to the robotic age. But that's a video for another day. And yeah, I do appreciate how they actually went and made art for all the Claw Gang members that didn't die. But yeah, this will be the end of this episode. There is one last part of the credits I want to show. But until then, this is Wreaker, and let chaos reign.